Damn.
We're live, by the way, and we're not talking about MacBooks anymore. So, hi everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of season 2 of Blades in the Dark, Embers in the Ashes. Um, are you okay, Nathan?
I'm good.
Okay.
Nate, what's wrong?
Just laughing at life. It's all
Laughing at
good.
life. So we had a couple tech issues, but we have overcome them. And I'm going to hand this over to Nathan, and you can bring us in.
Great. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Nathan. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the narrator for this amazing group. We are at session 2. Yeah, session 2 is the first downtime for our Blades in the Dark season 2. This will be, again, the first downtime for this season. We did them last time. If you're new to here or to Blades in the Dark, there are 2 distinct different kind of sections of the game. There's the score part, which we started in on last time, and then there's downtime. Rules are a little different. This tends to be a little more role play and setting up some events for other things. I'll let my crew go around and tell you who they are, who they'll be playing, and then we'll go through the recap of last week, what happened. We'll go through some mechanics so we can make sure that our group stays updated, and then we'll jump into some downtime scenes, which I'm sure will be amazing as they always are. Shauna, would you like to go ahead and start us off?
Hey, I'm Shauna Flanxers, she, her, and I am playing the group's spider, Miss Corbin, also she, her.
All right, thank you. And Jacob?
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Jacob, Duval King Jacob on the internet. He, him pronouns, as well as Eyes, who is the group's slide. And he is in a particular mood. It's not a happy one.
That's a good thing. All right. And let's go to Hannah.
Hello, I'm Hannah. I use she, her pronouns, and my character is Miss Fritter. She is our group's cutter. And she's shot in the leg, so she's also probably not in a great mood today.
Absolutely. Give Saevrick just a second. You good? Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was losing a lung, apparently. Hi, I'm Saevrick. I use he, him pronouns, as I'm playing Preacher, who is the group's Whisper. And you're lucky to get that much out of me right now.
All right.
You all right, bud?
Yeah, let's just...
Okay.
I was trying to not make him go last because I get told, and yep. I was like, just keep trying to give him some time. Hannah, do you have a recap that you want to give us from last time?
I do have a recap for the folks at home. So last week was the kickoff of season 2 for our Blades in the Dark campaign, and it started a couple of months after season 1 ended in time, even though it was only a few short weeks for us. So we start off with a new request for our assistance from a gentleman named Zap. And he worked at Sparks Delight, which was a casino-y type of bar type cool thing. Anyway, reached out because Hulls and Hollows, which are 2 different types of entities in the Blades in the Dark universe, are disappearing. They are, they mean different things. Anyway, we can go into that later. Anyway, they're disappearing from Sparks Delight. And he had set up an arrangement for them to be purchased by these brothers out of Coleridge, Vaughn, Cyrene, and Aldo. Important. We negotiate for a 30% stake in the casino in exchange for doing this and intervening and potentially stopping whatever is taking all of these folks, the Hulls and the Hollows, from Sparks Delight. Well, things go wrong. Fritter killed Vaughn, one of the brothers. Cyrene tells Jason or Eyes that the Hulls and the Hollows are effectively being taken over to a place called Ancanet Park. Gave us a location. Doesn't know what's going on with them, but knows that that's where they're depositing them. And he doesn't have any information about who's in charge of this or anything that's actually freaking useful. The Lampblacks come. There's a bit of a skirmish, and Miss Fritter gets shot. I think Aldo dies. Maybe Aldo didn't die. I didn't really have a clear conclusion as to what happened to Aldo. In my notes at least. Anyway, after this, we find out that Eyes and Darlene are trying to, be a couple. And his son, Joseph, who is a central figure in the first season, is now having a recurrent vision, or maybe a vision, maybe a real person who is interrupting him while he sleeps. And he tells Jason about it. So we have this new setup. Preacher's son, Ezekiah, who was a central figure in season 1, wants to join the Ash Syndicate and work with us. And there was a whole conflict between Preacher and his son about whether or not that was viable. Narrator, it wasn't. And then Miss Corbin, in her scene with the Hive, we learn that her father is effectively just trying to make her life a living hell on the Hive and preventing her and blocking her from actually making any progress on things she cares about because he's a petty little bitch. And then Fritter, walking home, kind of heard a voice in her head, and that was it. So caught up. All right, we're here.
I noticed you passed over very quickly that last sentence.
I don't know what you mean.
No, okay. Just want to make sure we knew that, yes, Miss Fritter did indeed hear what she thinks may be a voice, or is not really sure, and she doesn't quite even know when it came or how long it's been there. It's like that recurring dream you have night after night, week after week, and only during the wakefulness of the day do you actually remember that it happened at all. But maybe it was nothing. We'll see. All right, so let's do some mechanical crap to get to the fun. Yeah, the mechanical part is bullshit. You're right, but we have to do it, so let's just go ahead and do it. All right, so payoff for the score. Again, we're going to do a percentage. It is actually not going to be a actual money, but we'll roll money here in just a second. Rep, we're not doing rep. In Blades in the Dark, you usually keep rep, and that's how you go up in tiers, basically how your gangs get bigger. But we've decided not to set that up and go up automatically as we do seasons. Just feel it tells a better story for what we're trying to do. If you're playing at home, play different. Cool, great. So for coin, but we didn't agree on a coin because we're going to do the 30%, but the crew has 2 other options for making coin. That is 1, the racetrack, and 2, the drug den. So I'm going to roll 2d6, and whatever that comes in is what we're going to get for coin. Man, my voice is going. All right, what did I roll? 4 and a 4. Okay, so the crew is going to gain 8 coin between you all for this score. Once you're completed with and Zap feels like they are good with what you've done, then we'll go into that's not right. You can't make that's not right. We'll go into getting that money. A little tech issue humor that we're all making fun of, so that's fine. All right, so what do you want to do with the 8 coin? What, do you want to split it up? Do you want to put it in the party's funds? How would you all like to do that?
I'll do a 1 for me, 1 for the party.
Everybody go with that?
Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, so everybody mark 4 in... Okay, so here's an issue. You all, as on my records, I show that you had 2 spaces left in your vault, which means the vault can only hold 2 more coin. So of the 4 you wanted to put in there, only 2 can be held. So you got 2 extra coins somewhere that you can do something with.
Okay.
Take over another vault.
You can at your next upgrade.
I think we need a bigger vault.
Yeah. Damn mechanics of the game making me do stuff. All right. So just think about what you want to do. Maybe we'll call it at the end of the night. If somebody wants to use a coin to do a third downtime action or something like that, you can always throw that in the pie. So make sure that you mark 1 coin apiece for your personal, and then we have 2 floaters. Okay.
Excellent.
10 is the max we can hold, right?
What?
Let us look.
Oh,
I'm full AF.
So you can hold 4 basically on you. That is money that you're
Oh,
able to
okay.
get to. After that,
I'm
it
looking
rolls
at
over
stash,
into
that's
your
what it was.
stash, and stash
That's what
is
it
kind of,
was.
think of that as like your retirement fund.
I'm doing pretty good there.
That's good because when you eventually, basically, that is the coin you're going to live off of when you retire or get pushed from the game in some way. Okay. All right. XP. Again, we're doing XP a little differently from how you would normally do XP, but we're going to give all of you all get 4 XP to divide amongst your attributes or your playbook, whatever you choose to do. I don't know where that puts everyone, but I guess if you get another attribute, make sure you mark the flag. If you get another special ability because of advancement, please let me know what it is. Share it.
Yep. I'm gonna get another thingy in consort.
Okay. And remember that right as of now, still you can only have a maximum of 3 in something.
Yep.
So
That's my 3.
when you take mastery, which is an upgrade, that's when you can get to 4.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Cool.
Okay, everybody good there?
Good.
Everybody
All right.
good?
So for crew XP, let's look and see what's going on. 1, did you execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation? Absolutely, sabotage. 2, did you contend with challenges above your current station? I don't think so.
Eh.
3, did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Your reputation is ambitious. Do you feel like at this point you have maybe developed a new reputation?
I feel like I can make a case for this because
Oh, interesting.
Which one?
this is arguably the first time we ever did something so out in the open.
So loud.
Like that's not in the middle of the night when we're trying
Right.
to blow up a ship. So
I agree. So
That's
what do you
fair.
think what do you think the new adjective that will describe the crew is? Is it daring? Is it dramatic? What do you think? What feels
Like
right?
I don't know the adjective for it, but like my brain is like we've arrived. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm,
I don't know how exactly to one word it, but like that's where
like
my
dominant
head's at.
or
So
domineering.
far, undefeated.
Guys, do not give us,
False.
do not
No,
do not
that is
curse us like that.
That's why I had to
Overly
say it
honest.
because I knew I was. That's why I had to say it because I figured that was going to be the response. But just calling
Or like
it out.
aggressive. Maybe we're being like more aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Chat has a good word for that. Make sure you tell us what you think as well. There's words in my head. It's not quite. It's like confident, because you just went out and did it. Like this was just here, but it wasn't cocky. So I don't want to say that. But it was something like that. So if anybody in chat has a word for it, so let's go ahead and give you the experience. We'll come up with what that word is as we're kind of brainstorm with chat and kind of talk back and forth. But I like that kind of swagger, that
bravado.
bravado. Yeah, I think if that is kind of what
Bravado.
I had in my head. But let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so that's 2.
Yeah.
And then express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. Yeah, that's obvious. I think you met your goal. 1, you didn't ask for payment up front. You asked for interest in some place, which is kind of like y'all's modus operandi. That's how you all work now. And then just the essential nature of the crew is to just kind of take it head on. So let's do 4 XP for the group. And that will go into, so that'll be a total of 6. And then once you have 4 more, we'll do the next crew advancement.
Cool.
Okay.
We're at
Heat.
6 now.
Yes, that's what I show. What do you all show?
Because I showed 8.
Yeah, I showed
but
8 too. That's what confused me.
You showed 8 before?
No, total
Yeah.
now.
Oh, now
That's what
I had
got.
8, but I may not have deleted it.
No, I'm sorry. I have 9 now. If I add what we get tonight.
Oh, interesting.
Shauna, Hannah, what did you have?
I don't know. I'm looking for this.
It's on.
Oh, I
It's
had
under
6.
crew mode, down at the
Crew
bottom
mode,
on the
bottom
left.
So you had
I had
6
2.
going on.
I had 5. So.
So
We
we're
don't know
literally
what the
all
fuck's
different
going on.
numbers.
Oh no!
I haven't been documenting that, so I can't go back and check
That's funny.
it. So
Oh
That's
my
really
god.
funny. That's fucking
I
hilarious.
say that we go with what Nate says.
I
I-
agree.
Because
I'm
Nate's
fine
the
with
one
that.
that
So I
determines
thought you
it.
all had 8 before. You got 4 last time, and then
Yeah,
2
I
rolled
think-
over.
Yeah, that's why I think that's what my sheet. I don't know why I would have had 2 rolled over. That makes sense, I guess.
Did we pick an upgrade last time?
I think that's why we're in the hideout we have now, right?
Yeah, I think you picked Vault.
Because we
Oh,
were
yeah,
like,
Vault.
"Get the
Prowess.
fuck out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you picked Vault and Prowess for Prowess training last time, and then the Vault, which
Yeah.
gives you more room. Pretty sure that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yes.
And now the fucking vault's full, of course.
That just means you gotta spend it. That just means you have to spend
Yeah,
the money.
just spend it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good either way.
so that's good. If we find out in the notes that it changed, we can always change it later. It's
It's
all good.
whatever.
You come on, we're just playing to have fun. I'm
Yeah.
counting pennies. All right,
Yeah.
the fun part, heat. So after a score,
Yeah. Okay.
so after a score or conflict, the crew takes heat, which is basically just, did the blue coats see you? What all happened? Did it get around? Like what happened? And honestly, this crew has been very good with heat before, but I think under our new definition, our new reputation, we may be a little different, and that's going to bring its own set of challenges. And cool. All right, so 0 heat to start out. 0 heat is smooth and quiet, low exposure. 2 heat is contained, standard exposure. 4 is loud and chaotic, high exposure. And 6 is wild, devastating. I think this was a 4 heat. I think
This is
it's
a 4.
loud
Yeah.
and
It's
chaotic.
not
Does everybody agree?
nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's
exploded,
right.
so it's not a 6.
Yeah, there wasn't mass casualties. There wasn't mass hysteria, but there were gunshots in the street. There
Starting
were
to brawl.
multiple brawls. I agree. Okay, so let's do 4
About
heat.
1.5 casualties.
I didn't know mass casualties was on the table.
It's always on the table with you all.
That's
Okay.
We
amazing
did
to
have we
me.
did a mass casualty like a couple times.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we
I
start
don't
with,
remember it affecting us like this though, with the heat.
I think one time you got a bunch of heat, but then you
Yeah,
immediately
it
did
was
something to take it
It
off.
was I's son rescue. I think got us.
Yeah, there he goes.
Oh,
Hellish
that's
a
right.
ton of
That's right,
heat.
that's right.
All right, so 4 heat, and then you can add +1 heat for a high profile or well connected target. These guys weren't. Add +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. This is Silk Shore, so it's not hostile turf. It's neutral ground we established. And then add +1 heat if you're at war. You're not. Add +2 heat if killing was involved.
There was killing.
Absolutely, there was killing. And then I believe there was a little complication with the blue coats. And we're going to add another 2 heat. So my little fingers
Damn.
show
Where
8
we at?
heat.
8 heat. 8 heat.
Yo.
Yeah.
Are we
So-
at the?
We have one left.
God. Okay.
So for those playing at home, we actually, before the start of season 2, we wiped heat. We do we go down to 1 at level 1?
We're level 1, I think. Haunted.
Yep,
I mean,
level 1.
I mean,
Yeah.
And
Haunted.
which means basically they kind of have like misdemeanor offenses on their records that if the blue coats were to bring them in for something, somebody would probably go to jail for a little bit, but they're not out trying to hunt them down or find them. So they wiped heat. Now we're 1 thing away from bumping up that 1 to level once again. All right, so that's heat. Entanglements. Your heat is currently 1. So after the payoff, roll dice equal to your 1 level and read the result. So I'll roll that. Roll us a d6. I rolled a 1. Heat is 6 plus. Flipped or interrogation. Flipped is one of your contacts, patrons, clients, or group of your customers switches allegiances due to the heat on you. They're loyal to another faction now. Or the other is interrogation. The Bluecoats round up one of the PCs to question them about the crew's crimes. How do they manage to capture you? What would you all like to do?
I'll take that one.
Sure.
I figured you might.
This
All
seems
right.
fun.
So, how did they manage to capture Miss Fritter?
Oh, easy, on the street. She's just walking down the street holding a basket of cookies, and they approach her.
Saying do a diddy diddy dum diddy do.
You notice that as they approach, it's the new captain for the. I'll tell you who it is. It's the new captain for the Crows. For Crowsfoot. Remember, we said they kind of switched over, and the heat had been turned up because the crows were no longer there, paying them off and keeping them low. So they come in, and there's a new captain. Let's figure out who this captain is. Go back to my names list.
Captain Stain.
No, we're
Which
not calling him
sounds like-
Shitstain. I'm not calling him Captain Shitstain. Thank you for trying. I appreciate the effort. All right. Captain Valletta.
Great.
And you notice that Captain Valletta is an older woman who
Yay.
seems to has been in the Bluecoats for quite some time. She has a company around her, and that's how they've been traveling through Crowsfoot, is in companies, large groups of Bluecoats, very rarely alone, very rarely in twos. And in fact, the Bluecoats have kind of turned a page in Crowsfoot that they're not as easy to take bribes anymore as they always had been. They had always been able to take bribes and move on. It's not quite as easy now, or at least Captain Valletta is making it known that it's not as easy. All right, so they basically find you out walking with your cookies and ask you to come down to the precinct and talk to them about a few items. Does Miss Fritter go willingly?
Not immediately, no. She would definitely try to get as much out of them on the street as she can, surrounded by children and her allies.
Yeah, I absolutely think that it's one of those standoff situations where every minute you're out here, you see the Bluecoats sweating a little bit more as more and more kids, teenagers, and young adults kind of start looking out windows and looking over roofs and coming out of alleyways. And Valletta says quietly, we just have some questions. We promise you'll return in an hour, but we'd like to do this at the precinct. Is that going to be acceptable to you?
Well, I'm in the midst of making my afternoon deliveries. Is there a reason this takes precedent over feeding the hungry?
You see Valletta looks around and eyes the other Bluecoats and kind of starts to sweat just a little bit, as if they had prepared to outnumber you and not be outnumbered. She says, I tell you what, why don't we make an appointment for you to come down and see me? You can answer a few of our questions and tell me what may or may not have happened, and we could go about it like that. Would that do?
Sure, that is completely acceptable.
Yeah, you can see she's trying to save face. All right. So you have three choices here mechanically.
Can I hand her a batch of cookies before she walks away?
Absolutely. You can see she goes to take it and stops, and then eyes up one of the other people with her, and they grab it and they all turn around and quickly make their way out.
Have a delightful day.
All right. So mechanically, you can have one of three choices. Pay them off with 3 coin. They beat you up, level 2 harm, or you can tell them what they want to know for +3 heat.
Can I lie to them?
Yes, you can resist. You can resist that consequence. So
Yeah.
I would think that you would kind of tell them what they want to know, but you're gonna resist that. Does
I'm
that
going
sound
to
right?
carefully omit things, but
Of
sure,
course. Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So let's make a resistance roll. So you're gonna lie to them, which is perfectly fine. What are you going to use to make this resistance roll? I guess it's going to be, never mind, it's mine. I say that's going to be a resolve, resist consequences from mental strain or willpower.
Okay.
So the time comes, you're at the appointment, you come in, you show up, you sit down in the chair for an hour, and she writes down the description, basically asking what happened the other night. If you were there, supposedly someone with that looked just like you were seen there, what do you kind of tell her?
It's the craziest thing. we had a kid missing, and I hope you don't take any offense to this, but we don't necessarily trust you as the Blue Clothes. So they came to me about it, and I gathered up a few friends, and we went looking for a missing kid. And instead, we come across these men that are trying to overtake and steal these entity creatures, and we they said a few things to me, especially about being a woman of a certain age, and I didn't take too kindly to that. And they didn't realize how vastly outnumbered they were. It was a very strange situation. But of course, we did find the child, and he was returned home to his family. So
You
I
see,
guess all's
she
well.
writes down everything and kind of takes your remarks, especially about being a woman of a certain age. She very pointedly takes that down, writes stuff down. Okay, so let's see how much stress and strain this actually puts on you. So go ahead and let's roll a resolve resistance check.
So is that just like a no bonus die? What do I do?
What do you? It's going to roll if you'll click it. If you'll click resolve, it'll roll. I'm going to say you get a bonus die because you were able to prepare for this. This was out of the blue. Gee, many Christmas.
Yes. And the sixes start again. All right. At least I'm not killing anybody this time.
So you have a point in everything in resolve?
No. I have... Oh, yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So again, when you roll resistance, you roll the number of dice equal to each one of the attributes under that larger attribute family, whether it's insight, prowess, or resolve. So she rolls 4 dice, and I give her the extra die because, yeah, of course, she needed it, quote unquote. So you're actually able to lie so well that you remove 2 stress.
Like 2 stress off me?
Off you. You remove stress. So you kind of in your own head, this is what happened. And she writes down everything, says she's going to check onto some things, and you're able to walk out of the precinct none the wiser.
Ooh.
All right. Of course you roll resistance like that. Okay. So now we're going to get into downtime. Multiple 6s. Jesus. There's no gods in Dustfall.
She was due for one.
There's no gods in Dustfall, but somehow the gods are shining down on
last week, okay? It took me forever to kill that guy, and I got shot.
You took a minor consequence and got shot. Meanwhile, I had somebody roll 3 1s, and I couldn't do shit to him, but that's okay. I'll get him. All right. Anyway, let's go into downtime actions, where the crew each gets a couple of downtime actions. These could be things like, so what they could do with these are acquire an asset, work on a long-term project, recover, which is, maybe I'm growing, recover, which is healing, reduce heat, train, or indulge their vice, which reduces their stress. And so we'll go around the table, let each one of these characters say, or players say what their character is going to do, and there may be scenes that either they want to have with me as far as an NPC or may have with each other, and then we kind of roll the mechanics behind the scenes. We're trying to be RP first, so that's kind of where we're at. All right, who wants to go first with the downtime scene?
I'll go first since nobody's talking.
Okay.
I think first I'm just going to do one of your little homebrewed things and just reduce 2 stress from me. Just hanging out at the crib. What was the head shake for?
So question, while you're hanging out at your humble abode, how is it there after your conversation with Ezekiah?
That's the question. I think Preacher would probably the next morning, the first thing he would do would just to go to his son's door and push it open to see if he's still there or not. Though he's got a feeling he knows the answer already.
He is not?
Well,
dang it.
I suppose you've made your choice. And I'm going to shut the door. and I don't care that it's the early hours of the morning. I'm going to sit down at the table with a glass of whiskey.
As you sit down at the table and have your whiskey, the front door opens to your apartment, and in walked Hezekiah. Looking like he'd been up and was out probably getting something for breakfast or something, and comes in and kind of greets you. Says hello, and seems a little bit more upbeat than he has been. Walks in and starts basically making something for breakfast. He said, he says, I felt bad about how our talk went. I didn't mean it for it to do that.
So, that's wonderful and all, but did you make some sort of choice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be in the ashes, right?
That is correct.
Okay. He kind of gives you that teenage face for a second, like, okay.
So, are you going back to school?
Yeah, I've got a couple things brewing. Some stuff's happening. I'm gonna enroll. I think I like. I'm not gonna go back to charter hall. I can't after what it meant and what's going on. But there's someone that's doing some business type school, doing some books and and figures and investments and things like that. And I would really like to try that out.
You know, your mother often tried to do this to me. She, uh, she assumed I was an idiot when she was speaking to me most of the time, as if I couldn't see through what you're trying to say to me.
What am I trying to say to you?
Well, business and investments and schooling. Look, you make whatever choice you want to make. Just understand that you're not a child anymore. All right, which means there's going to be consequences for the things that you do, good or bad.
Understand. Seems like we've both made choices.
Yes, we did. I am. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you.
I think he grabs some piece of bread or something he has, kind of walks, looks like he's going to sit down at the table, but kind of walks by
Mm-hmm.
and starts walking back to his room and just says, don't be sorry for then. Be sorry for now. And walks into his room.
Oh, damn, Rebecca, what have you left me with? What have I left me with? I think I'm gonna take a step from the kitchen and maybe look out on the balcony overlooking the city itself.
Yep.
With
The eternal
fog
dark.
and
Yep.
the rain. And take my hat off and just let the rain soak me down. Still sipping at that little amber glass.
Okay. And that's where the scene will cut. All right. Who do we pick up next?
I can go.
All right. Where is Eyes? What's Eyes doing?
So, it's the following evening after his discussion with Joseph at Two Cats. Um, During the day, the sort of makeshift sledgehammer turret is now, thanks to a few of the folks that kind of work underneath him, since he didn't want to go back over there because it's a little hot over there right now. The actual turret is now on the roof of the complex that Eyes lives on, and we find him around, fairly late at night, a little earlier. Um, he's waiting for somebody.
All right. So the camera pans in on the eternal fog that surrounds Dustfall. Who is he waiting on? Who's Eyes waiting on?
It kind of looks up at the Joseph's bedroom window, and he's waiting to see if the boogeyman's coming.
Okay. So you wait, and during this time, you're able to think back on where you've been, what's going on, and just a few short months ago, there was a son that you hadn't seen in forever, and now you are being the protective papa over this child, and what you would do to anyone you found that threatened this child in any way. And you wait, and you wait, and nothing appears.
Go back upstairs.
Okay.
Quietly, and there's a kind of in the I kind of have the switch that would trigger the armament, if you will, and I'll just kind of say quietly to myself, I'm good at pretending to be patient. Come when you like. And there's a kind of a rocking chair near the kind of the back end of the room, kind of opposite Joseph's bed. And I sit facing the window.
Okay. Yep. Joseph sleeps soundly in his bed. The feeble moonlight, or actually probably it's the light from one of the Sparkrite towers, kind of shines in that window, and nothing comes this night. Mechanically, what are you looking for out of this scene? Is this a stress reducer?
Um, I'd say so. Definitely not his vice of pleasure by any means.
No, but this could be a hobby. To me, this is kind of a quiet night, and you could take 2 off of stress as a hobby. I think that's fine with what you're doing. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Okay.
I'm good.
Where do we pick up? Where do we pick up next?
All right.
Okay.
First things first, we need to fix the heat that we had from last night. So, one method with this current new captain has been closed. So, Miss Corbin is going to take a visit to the local newspaper, visit some reporter contacts of hers.
Okay. All right. And what are you looking to do at these contacts? I'd say that this happens in a crowded printing press, very loud. The electromagnetic hum of the printing press, the thump thump thump, the lightning as it sparks into the energy levels of the electroplasm as it's kind of powering things over and over again. And there's an person with ink stained hands that's talking to you, asking if you got stories or what's going on. How does Miss Corbin know this person?
She is a she has tipped them off as a second party to a couple stories they've had within our territory, things that have also been beneficial for us, but concerned citizens.
All right.
Also, Miss Corbin has been known to be a patron to this paper every once in a while when they have a fundraiser. Like, she is more than willing to offer her services to help them, organizing or just flat monetary donations.
All right. This person's name is Sias. 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 Sias has worked at the paper for a long time and kind of brought it up from nowhere to be a it's a gossip mongering place, but there's nuggets of truth in all of it. So people liked it sensationalized, but so it takes a story and kind of blows it up a little bit more than what it should be. But it's still believable, and people still know that there's truth in there somewhere. All right. So what would you like to do, Sias?
Guys, how is the news business going?
There's stories everywhere. There's stories everywhere going all the time. You know how it goes. Just lots of stories. Just trying to weed through the crap and make their crap better. So it's actually crap worth. I said crap a lot. See, that's probably not good. I should have used different words for each one of those. But okay, go back.
You save that for the page, of course.
Yeah. The good words for the page, the bad words for my mouth. Okay. So what are you doing down here? Kind of looks you over as if you've come a long way, looking very nice.
I'm come as a concerned citizen for our dear Crow's Foot and Night Market. Just heard awful stories about the Bluecoats. They've been roughing up people for no reason. Just questioning. It's become stifling to, honestly, the functioning of the it's hard to conduct business when everyone's afraid of being shaken down. After all, God, we had some associates of mine gather, try and do some good, find some missing child, and were accosted by overzealous Bluecoats.
You see that Sias is writing down some of the words you use, accosted and overzealous and things like that. And doing good, overzealous. Okay, yeah. I got it. Okay. And so what is it you'd like to see happen with this? You want what? Do you have a story? Is this a standard thing where you give me something, or what are we doing?
I just think about that as, concerned citizen. Also, it's a good story. I have several sources in our neighborhood. If you want to, she has a list. Like, if you want to talk to them, they might have some details of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just merely speak for them.
Okay. Yeah. We can work with this. Starts looking it over. Let's go ahead and I'm going to need a roll of some kind. What are we using here? Sorry, my pen ran out of ink, so I had to yell for my kid to give me more pen.
This is a consort.
Consort? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see what you're going to roll. And this is basically if Sai has interest in this story, if Sai thinks that they can sell this story. Let's see what it actually says in the roll.
Okay.
Remember, you can always spend a coin to up the effect,
mm-hmm.
Or to get more dice if you choose.
Okay.
Or you can take 2 stress to push yourself.
I think I should be good. 3.
A 3. Sai says, "Yeah, I got lots of complaints on Bluecoats. They're really a dime a dozen. You walk any corner, you see some Bluecoat beating up somebody or doing something they shouldn't. I could find this story anytime, and really kind of hands you back your list that says, I appreciate the list, but I don't have time to go in and talk to these people. Would you like to resist?"
Sure.
So what you could do is to reduce the heat. Basically, this would reduce it by 1, a roll of 1 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted,
Muted.
Nate.
Sorry, I had to mute to tell my daughter to then be quiet. My bad. Okay, so right now it's going to only mark it down by 1.
Mm-hmm.
A couple choices, I guess. You could resist. I will let you resist to push it up a level, or you can pay a coin to roll an extra die. Kind of trying to think of some different options for you.
Well, you know what? I will pay a coin.
A coin, because you're paying a coin. Let's just re-roll the whole thing.
Okay.
I think that's fair because it's an entire coin. It's a pretty big deal. So let you
we
re-roll
can't
the
have-
entire thing.
Well, we can't have the glucose going down, breathing down our throats the entire time. Ah, there we go.
All right, a 5. So a 5 is going to mark it down by 2,
Okay.
which is a little bit better. Yeah. All right. So basically, you were going to reduce the heat by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody reduce that. So now you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heat. So Sai basically takes the money and says, some stories are better than others. I think we could definitely get this out. We'll get this started out on the paper tonight.
And I have something extra. If you don't mind, I'm just going to put in another downtime on this, since it's right here.
Okay. You want to use your second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna spend a bunch on coins. So.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, she takes out another envelope and hands it to him. On particular. If you're receptive to that, I have some additional, something a little juicier. It's about the dear new Captain Valletta.
His eyebrow raises. Yeah, she's really been doing some stuff around here, trying to quote unquote clean up. He takes and opens up the envelope. What's in the envelope?
Extra coin and some rumors.
Okay. He goes, yeah, I've heard lots of bad things. Lots of bad things.
The most
Definitely.
overzealous have things to hide.
Absolutely.
You barely find anybody that's not in the inspectors that are just spit and polish clean.
Yeah, I've had a couple other people asking about her. I believe that she has to have something. Maybe this will help me try to find it. All right, so what are you rolling this time?
I'm going to make this if you don't mind, make this a project of some sort to get.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That works.
Our dear Captain.
So a long-term
replaced.
project to basically find something on Captain Valletta?
Yeah, or to get her removed.
Okay, so is that what it is?
Yeah, because I think I might, if this is a continuous clock, I might take different venues.
Okay. So long-term project, remove Captain Valletta. Let's call this. So on a long-term project, 1 through 3 is 1 section, a 4 to 5 is 2 sections, a 6 is 3 sections, and a crit is 5 sections.
Okay.
Let's say this is going to be a 4-tick clock.
Okay.
So if you want to add a clock to your sheet, a 4-turn clock, and this will be roll number 1 on that clock.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So what would you like to roll to? Basically, you're asking Saez for maybe to corroborate some rumors you have, or to kind of lead you down a path. I think.
Lead him down. It's like this might bear some fruit for at least good rumors of the excesses and debauchery of our dear captain.
Okay, so why don't go ahead and roll me. Let's do an action roll of some kind to figure out what that is.
Good old consult. Just normal 5.
That's a 5. All right, so a 5 is 2 sections. So your
Excellent.
long-term project is halfway there already.
It's about right. Cool.
So Sias looks at some of the rumors and says, yeah, some of the stuff's making sense is what I've heard too, but I need to confirm it. We're not there yet, but I've definitely heard from several other people that it's something like this, and kind of points at a couple of the rumors. We could figure out of game what those are.
I just figured you'd want some a little bit of what's on the air.
Oh, absolutely. I always take what's on the air, especially from you, Miss
Oh,
Corbin.
you're so nice.
Is there anything else with that scene?
Oh, that's it.
All right, thank you. Miss Fritter, you ready?
Yes, I was just documenting the last part of that.
All good.
Um,
So where do we find Miss Fritter, and what are you doing?
So Fritter's downtime action. You are going to find her at the mausoleum, but not the mausoleum that we're using as our headquarters. The
Okay.
actual mausoleum, like where her husband is theoretically interned.
And where is that? In what ward is that? Is that in Crowsfoot?
Oh, it's in Crowsfoot.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I would say it's probably pretty far away from where the mausoleum is that you all are using.
Yeah.
It's absolutely probably at the other end, kind of a separation of personal and business. And it's quiet, eerily quiet. There are flames flickering in lanterns. People keep lanterns going on down here pretty much all the time in this part of the mausoleum, just as in case some people want to come and visit the deceased or the places of the deceased on the regular. So there's lanterns that flicker. You may have passed a couple people coming in, fresh mound of dirt along the left-hand side as you walk down this long path. Some of the petrified trees, they're still standing in this part of the city. Probably would have been pretty at one point in time. Now it, just like everything else, it holds dust and decay. Where do we find Miss Fritter?
Miss Fritter is standing in front of the placard that bears her husband's name, laying some equivalent of flowers or mementos, whatever people use in Duskfall. Maybe mushrooms or something.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of things. I think that for special occasion, it could be dried flowers that the nobility find of no use, make it dried and reused down here and kind of put down or brought down. And there's a small placard as it sits above a plot of land. You place the flowers down and kind of step back. Are you saying anything? Are you thinking anything? What's going on?
There's a small bench that she had effectively placed there. So she takes a seat and she is just kind of studying the area and also sort of waiting. She's not saying anything out loud at this time.
Okay.
Theoretically, this would be like a de-stressing activity.
Mm-hmm.
But given what's going on, probably not.
I think mechanically this is probably the place you come to be at peace. If you want to take the -2 for a hobby, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Sure.
Or do you think it's a vice? Do you think she could get lost on here? Could this be something that is a place that she comes to for refuge?
No.
Okay.
Not anymore, probably.
It's fine. Wanted to see what you thought. So take the -2 mechanically.
Okay.
I think you sit there for a while, get lost in your thoughts, maybe even have a conversation, just kind of are there. And after a little bit, you hear footsteps coming in your direction, loud, obvious footsteps along the brick path that leads down this direction. And you've seen people come and go through here every once in a while. You've spent some time out here. This set of footprints stops at the end of the little alcove that your husband lay in, and you notice they haven't moved. out of maybe the left-hand side of your vision, you see the shape of a person standing under the lantern light so they can be seen, back respectfully. And they...
She'll stand and turn to face them.
Okay. You find a tall, white, very almost polished white skin person, that a man that is standing in front of you, clean shaven, all the way, no hair, kind of shaved bald. He stands there and looks at you and kind of bows his head a little bit and says, "Evening."
And I know him.
You do.
Isn't it always evening?
A grin, almost a grin, comes over his face, and he says, "It seems that way in Duskfall, yes."
What are you doing here?
"I'm paying my respects."
Well, then I'll get out of your way.
No need to leave. I simply want to drop this off. And he very slowly takes his hand out from behind his back, and he has a small photosynthetic, glowy flower. There you go. In a pot. And he says, "I have to replace these every once in a while as the thieves come and take them." And he slowly walks around you, not close to you, and steps toward the headstone and places it down in front of the headstone, as if he's done that more than a few times. And he
The headstone of my husband?
Correct. The headstone of your husband. And he says, "It is bad to be forgotten. I do not wish it upon anyone. And I do not wish it upon a great man."
I don't think it's possible he'll ever be forgotten. He touched too many people's lives. But I appreciate that you come down here to remember him.
He made me. So the least I could do is help to remember his legacy.
He would appreciate that.
He kind of gives you the nod and says, "I will leave you to your discussions."
Does he leave?
He takes one big step back. If you're okay, he takes one big step back into the lantern. He kind of turns around and walks down the path, and you think you hear his footsteps walk away. You do for a little bit, and then those footsteps, just as quickly as they arrived, those footsteps become silence.
I'm gonna bend down next to the pot, and I want to look through it and make sure there's nothing sticking out of the dirt.
Okay. No, it is a small phosphorescent plant. Worth a good amount of money.
She leaves it. Doesn't take it with her.
Okay. Anything more for this scene for you?
No.
Okay.
She'll leave eventually, quietly, like she came in.
And just like that, the camera would pan out to show the gravestone of what has been described a truly great man, with a small fluorescent flower sitting in front of it, glowing ever so dimly in the dark world. All right, round 2. Who started us off? Was it Eyes? Or was it Preacher?
Preach.
Oh, it was Preacher.
Yep.
Okay. So, Preacher, where do we find you for your second downtime action?
Actually, I think gonna take a stroll over to Silk Shore. Because there's somebody new in charge over here, or at least someone we don't know. And I would like to start a clock.
Okay. Start a long-term project.
I would, yes.
Okay. What is this long-term project?
To find this person in the shadows who's running this joint.
Okay. The person that Cyrene, Vaughn, and Aldo were looking for. Okay. That tells me.
Correct.
All right. So go ahead and on your character sheet, this is going to be a harder clock. This is going to be an 8-turn clock.
Okay.
An 8-section clock. What are you doing today to advance this clock?
Well, I am always in tune with the spirits, so they're always the first ones I ask. And where did they say they were taking those things to? I do not.
Ankhet Park.
Yeah, the park. So I think my first inclination would be to go there and speak with any sort of spirits or phantoms or whatever have you, who might be connected to that area, and might have seen people coming and or going.
Mm-hmm. All right. So during the daytime, you go down to Ankhet Park, which people are at and walking around. It's in the south part of Silk Shore, and you go over a little bridge. It's on an island off into the water itself, over on the southeastern portion of Silk Shore. You walk across this little bridge, and there are other people and couples walking around in the midst of the park. Again, it's different. It's statues and petrified trees and fungus and glowing things throughout the park, but it is quite pretty. It is quite peaceful. Imagine you maybe find a spot in the park to be kind of left alone a little bit, maybe off the path I can see, and you begin to commune with the ghost field. What does it look like when Preacher communes with the ghost field?
I don't want to get anything too creepy because we're in a public space. I would say it's like a moment of meditation where he has his eyes closed, but there is almost that smell of atmosphere that emanates from him, as if sort of crossing between the two worlds creates some sort of friction, and splits the air itself. And he would probably have some sort of anchor there, maybe like a book or something to keep in his hands to remind him of where he is physically.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing demon related, I would assume.
No, not this time at least.
Okay. Just an anchor book. Maybe it's even a diary of some kind you've written and done your stuff in. Okay. Go ahead and let's roll an attune and see what we can give you.
Okay.
Again, a long-term clock is on a 1 to 3, it'll be 1 section, a 4 to 5 will be 2, a 6 will be 3, and a crit will be 5.
Is this considered a risky position? Or?
It's fine. Yeah, risky is fine, but there will be no consequences. It's just a matter of roll. For most downtime actions, there won't be any consequences.
Wonderful.
See, why can't I get these rolls normally? So it's gonna be one tick on your clock, so you're at 1 out of 8. Which plays into my plan very good. I love when the rolls play into the GM's head. There are no spirits. In this part, it feels devoid of spirits. And you can see outside, you can almost see in the ghost field and on the register, I'd say your vision turns a different shade, and you can see spirits actively avoiding Ankhet Park. They're outside of it traveling, but they will not travel across that bridge. They will not travel across the water to get to here. You can see them avoiding it. And that in itself tells you something pretty damning, that there was some bad stuff going on here if the spirits don't want to be anywhere near it.
Can I stand and my eyes will open and there'll be sort of that smoky white that sort of starts to peel from the edges, the corners. And while the world has not changed around me physically, visually, it definitely has changed into shades of white and purples and blues. And if I could, I'd like to walk to the edge of the park and sort of look out in the streets at the spirits as they pass by, just to get a confirmation of how wide a berth they're giving, if they're even attempting to try to get in at all, if they're being repelled or...
Right. No, it looks like they are actively swerving away. It doesn't like they're being repelled in some way. There's not a spirit barrier. There's not a lightning barrier or anything physical that's doing it. It's like the spirits are surrounding people. You watch as a spirit follows someone as if they have an interest in someone. But as that person comes to the bridge to come over to Angea Park, they stop and kind of fly off in a different direction. They make a cognitive decision not to come across that bridge or not to come across in the water. You do not see anything. So it is a choice. Looks like each spirit is making the choice not to come to the park.
Would I be able to talk to any of these spirits? You can totally say no. I'm okay with that. Just
no. So I think the gist of any conversation will be that the spirits feel that this is a very bad place. Like they sometimes have ability to have cognitive reasoning and sometimes they don't. And the ones around here that you're finding just don't have the reasoning. It's basically just bad. That's kind of what you get as you're seeing people or as they're voicing their thoughts as they're coming around. So you don't find one that can actually speak to you and tell you why. But it's just that like animalistic instinct, do not do this.
Okay. So, I will just go ahead and shut off from the visions, and I imagine Preacher, who's staring over this bridge now, going into the park, and just with a perplexed, puzzled look as he looks into the heart of it, and saying, "What terrible thing happened here?" And imagine just the zoom out from that point on.
Yep,
as the player
absolutely.
now wants to start a clock asking what the fuck happened in the park.
Yeah, absolutely. The camera pans back to Preacher standing on the bridge, water flowing underneath, staring into the empty black that is the water that surrounds it, and trying to figure out what in the world's going on. All right. Eyes.
So we kick back to Eyes the next morning. Post a very quick breakfast, dropping little man off at school. Gives him a kiss on the head, drops him off, and is headed to interrupt Miss Fritter's route.
Okay. I almost want to say if you're both okay with this, you meet her on the way back from the precinct. Is that okay?
Yeah. Cool.
Ms. Fritter, is that okay with you?
Totally fine with me.
Okay. Yep. On the way out of the precinct, you're kind of walking back down through Crowsfoot, and Eyes comes strolling up over the bridge from Night Market, and you see him coming into the distance.
And kind of give a wave. Have a few moments for some company?
Sure. Would you like to walk with me?
I would. So how's the wound healing?
It's mostly a flesh wound, I guess. It's annoying as shit.
You seem to be walking all right.
I'm medicated.
Yeah, well, if it helps, I haven't slept at all in the past 48 hours.
What's going on?
That's awesome. So yeah, first of all, I will start by saying, again, thank you for being you and doing what you do. The Krampus thing made me really, really fucking uncomfortable, though. But time has taken that anger from my heart, so that's great. But what brings me by this fine morning is my little one is now seeing people. And so I spent, and what's actually even more interesting is that someone seems to have what I have. He kind of points to, like, there's still like bags right here, and so he just kind of points. I don't recall anyone having that kind of situation. But, so first, I did the right thing, typically. Took, that fun turret I made? It's surprisingly portable when you can make someone set it up for you and you don't have to lift a finger, so that's fun. And I waited, and nothing happened. This whatever it is has been bothering him for what appears to be several days, I believe, Nate? Is that right? So now I'm kind of broadening my horizons. So that brings me to you. I don't know if I could, bring the old crew, some of my fun people from the racetrack, but I don't trust them. I trust you. I'm at a loss a little bit. Really fucking hope it's not spirits. I'll check in with Preacher on that. But oh my god, if there's a third fucking spirit, I will fucking lose my goddamn mind.
Okay, well, before you burn down a building, let's talk for a quick second. What is it that he's seeing exactly, or what is it that's happening to him?
We've all heard the monsters under the bed, right?
I mean,
Boogeyman.
Typically they're not spirits. I mean, usually that's just a child playing a prank.
Right. I have a feeling it's someone that I know that I've sort of deleted from my past. But I don't know if that's a physical threat or spiritual one.
Okay, so you think that there's a person responsible for this, whether or not they're alive or not, that is a question.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised that they didn't just show up, but maybe maybe it's not an every night thing. So, but I'm trying to be prepared. This boogeyman didn't seem to say much. Which, I mean, there are easier ways to get my attention. I'm at a bar every night.
Well, it's not about you. No. It could be using the kid to get to you, but it could be about the kid.
And taking him away would be boring. That wouldn't be a way to get to me. How would you get to me?
How would I get to you?
Mm-hmm. What would you do? Take away Darlene?
Probably send a girl into your room that I knew had herpes. I don't know. I have no idea how to get to you.
I kind of swish my jacket. It's been a while. I'm not exactly active. Darlene and I are trying round 2. So
I think that's great, and I think that's good for you, and I'm glad that I chose not to kill her before. But
thanks again.
I was trying to look out for you, man.
I know.
So, do you think this? What would have been the cause for this happening? Like, why would this have suddenly started?
And why now? It's been so quiet for months. And
So,
then,
did it used to happen to you?
no.
This has never happened before, to your knowledge. And it just started
Matter of
happening to
fact-
Joseph.
Yeah.
I think you need to take Joseph to see Preacher.
I was
Now,
afraid of that.
I must say that, like, there's some baggage there, but I do feel that Preacher will be able to do an assessment that could prove fruitful.
I don't know if I'm ready to confront that kind of shit again. I go from nearly dying to this Krampus bullshit to more, some quasi spiritual shit with the mechanical things, which whatever I was fine with. This is a lot to put together for something that I really, really, really don't like. It's really easy to play chess with humans because they're just pieces. They mean nothing to me.
Okay. You're very close to this, and I can appreciate that because you're intentionally not telling me who you think this is, which is fine. But I'm gonna say maybe you should let Darlene, or I don't know how much she knows about it, but Darlene or me take the kid to Preacher, and you can be there too, but maybe not like in the same room. Maybe you need to take a step back from this because you're really close to it, and I don't know how much you're exacerbating the situation. Because to be honest, I deal with kids that have shitty parents. I don't deal with kids that are getting haunted. And if that's what this is, and he's being haunted by like a shitty relative of yours, that's your baggage on top of what this kid's dealing with, and he doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, what about attempted ex-shitty parents? Do you have any expertise there?
Attempted what?
Nothing. It was a bad joke. That's probably a good idea. I'll probably hate it. I'm a bit of a control freak. What can I say? It makes
I'll
me
tell
good
you
at what I
what.
do.
Just when he gets out of school, just bring him over to my place or send him over to my place, and I can help with this. But like, there's no reason the kid goes to bed tonight without you having a little bit more knowledge or a few more answers.
Yeah. Plus, I had to use that turret somehow. You know
I
what's
don't
crazy?
even want to go into like, if this is, I mean, if it's a physical person, we can just rip him limb from limb. But if it's not, then I don't see how your sledgehammer is gonna make a difference.
No, it's kind of separate. Spend all the time putting it together, making it, and to not fire it's just, ugh, heartbreaking.
Well, if you decide that you want to use it, the new captain of the Bluecoats could really use the exercise. So maybe send her down the block a few times.
That could be fun.
I would enjoy it.
A favor for a favor?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So mechanically, what do you need from this downtime? Are you starting a long-term project to figure this out? Or are you?
Yeah, it's feeling very clocky.
So it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna think this is going to be 6. Let's do a 6-turn clock and set it up on your sheet to find who's behind Joseph's nightmares. And let's roll. What would you like to roll this time to work on that?
Since I'm talking, feels very consort to me.
Okay.
because I'm kind of making my rounds. So yeah, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely.
So controlled position, I assume?
Yeah, it doesn't matter on the position for these. So go ahead and do consort. Consort. Huh.
Ooh, not
4
great.
is 2 ticks. Um, so I think you talk to people at the bar, you talk to people around, you talk to Miss Fritter, you talk to a bunch of people, and the information you're getting is that people may have seen a figure around, kind of snooping around, but they didn't snoop like you would normally see someone. They weren't a thief in the night. They weren't in to break into things, and they've seen them on regularly. And when you kind of match up, it matches up with what Joseph is telling you he's seeing them. Is they're seeing a person not be there for a second and then being there, almost as if they had some kind of ability to make people around them not see them. It's almost a camouflage or cloaking, or I don't even. No one really tells you. They just said that they've almost seen. It's like seeing something out of the corner of your eye, your passive perception or whatever it is. That they have seen someone up around there, but they don't stay long. When they get seen, some people have said they've yelled or thinking it was somebody trying to rob you all or something. This thing has moved on very quickly, and it's actually moved onto the roof, over the roof, and almost like climbed up the roof as an insect would climb up a wall. So it very humanoid shape, but did not move like a humanoid. It's kind of what you're getting out of this right here.
Oh, can't wait to meet my evil twin Nosage, Jason backwards.
All right. So you good? All right. So that's downtime number 2. Pick up with Miss Corbin.
All right, so Miss Corbin has done a little bit of legwork, a little bit of research. If my father wants to play it that way, so can I. And if he is going to mess with my associates, well, then I can certainly look into his. And I have sent some of my information gatherers to see if there's anyone that would be willing to meet.
Okay. And just for clarification, this is your third downtime action. You're using your ability on yourself this time, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just make sure I keep it straight in my head. So yeah, what they find out is there's a man named Riker Thorne, and this was one of Great Mustache's NPCs. So thank you very much for donating to our thing, and hope that I portray Riker as if you want. We'll see how this goes. There's a man named Riker Thorne that is basically a bodyguard for a local establishment. He was a former Leviathan hunter. There are rumors that say that he was the foremost Leviathan hunter, or was the first onto a Leviathan in every ship, and prided himself on his jumping on and being fearless in battle. That there's stories of him riding a Leviathan or punching one, or who knows what the stories actually say. A large man. Muscles and brawn for days, large handlebar mustache. He keeps out to the side, he kind of strokes at that big booming laugh. A man who will sit down and talk to you as long as you have time for it. But he has fallen on harder times in the last couple of years. It seems that he has been ostracized by the Leviathan hunters, and from getting what he used to do, which was kind of mercenary bodyguard work. He no longer does that. And he's been relegated to doing basically guard duty or mop-up duty in local places around here for quite some time. And you've heard that he may have an interesting tale to tell about Lord Farnsworth.
All right, so Miss Corbin will find out what bars, establishments he frequents went off duty, and she will make sure that she is present.
Okay. Yeah, you find one of the local establishments that he is at, and kind of make your way down there. It's late at night. It's kind of after hours. This is almost like one of those after hours places that people in the industry go. If you're in food or whatever, and it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, everybody else has gone to bed, you still are revved up. He is currently sitting it's an open air tent that they kind of move around depending on where the blue coats find them, and he is drinking with a bunch of people around. They're doing arm wrestling 1 second. People are betting against him or for him, and just having a pretty raucous time. You actually hear his laugh from outside of the establishment before you even dip your head in the tent. You can hear his big booming. Who's next?
There you are, Mr. Thorne. Oh, you... the stories do not do you justice, certainly, even after all this time. But I am here to see if we can talk about certain things.
Riker takes the drink that he has sitting beside him and drains it and says, well, I hate to take your money, but we're arm wrestling here. That what you want to do? Because that might not be a fair fight, I don't think,
I would not aim to even attempt. I know. But I'm here for things that you might be interested. Some past transgressions that may be righted.
He kind of looks around nervously and says, we talking my past transgressions or someone else's?
It involves you, and you might be, might be involved a little bit of improving stations, let's say, so to speak.
Okay. So let's make a roll here. I think this feels like a roll to see what he's going to open up to or be, how he is going to kind of treat this. Is this? It's probably not a consort. Is this a sway? Is this a command?
This might be a sway.
It feels a little swayish to me, but
yeah.
You tell me.
It sounds like a sway.
Okay, because you don't have an established connection with him, so
yeah,
you can't it's hard to use consort.
I will also drop that. This might have something to do with nobles that control. And she'll kind of gesture toward the docks, where the land meets the water. And all this.
Yeah. He kind of looks at you and spits off to the side. Nobles. All right.
Exactly.
Do your talking.
Okay.
All right. So let's roll something and let's figure out how this conversation is going to go.
I am going to push myself.
Okay.
And can I spend a coin as well with that?
You absolutely can.
Yes. Excellent. And, okay, what will that get me?
So that's going to get you an extra die or an extra effect. Which one would you like on either one?
I think extra dice, is what I want from this.
All right. So to set the scene, so we make sure that the rolls count. Mm-hmm. A 1 through 3 will be a... He doesn't trust you, doesn't know you, doesn't know what's going on. So he probably won't be very talkative. A 4 or 5 means he kind of is meeting you on that same level, slightly distrustful, but understanding that he's going to talk to you some, but it won't be with the full heart. A 6 will be you've said the right things, and you're saying what he wants to hear and what he wants to help. He wants to give you what he can. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Look at that. So I think you walk away. At the sound of nobles, he kind of puts his drink down. He gets a more serious look on his face. he still smiles and looks at everyone and says, we have things we need to discuss, so we're going to take a walk. Don't wear your arms out too much. I'll be back to get some more coin here in just a second. He kind of, I think, takes you over the side. He stands up. He's 6'6", 6'7", large. Just one of those impressive figures that you see every once in a while. Like, that's a big person.
Yeah. It's someone she definitely has to kind of like crank
absolutely.
her neck up.
Yeah.
Like...
He doesn't touch you. He kind of escorts you. Kind of does the hand motion of can we walk this way? Kind of out to the side of the tent, maybe where it's a little quieter. Even as you walk away, everything starts to go back to normal and kind of gets the raucous, the laughter and everything starts. So he steps outside and says, "What is this about the nobles?"
Yes, because I'm well aware of your issues with them. How they use you and throw you away like they do everyone else. I have my own quarrel with them. Specifically, I have one with Dinar Farnsworth, if that name sounds familiar.
The glass in his hand shatters.
You do know him.
Yes, I know him. The smile completely wipes off his face. He says, I know him. He cost me my livelihood.
I'm well aware. It's an awful thing that we depend on them to keep the ghosts away because they own all the ships. And we can't do anything to them because they will stay on their wonderful little island and let the rest of us die if that's necessary.
Absolutely. Some of us die easier than others, though. Sometimes it gets very personal, those deaths.
Oh, I'm well aware. They have also taken things from me. What I'm here to ask is, it may be a long time ago, but if there's anything that you can help me with this Farnsworth, I will make sure that he suffers, gets everything taken away from him, and if I get what I want, and we free the ships from him, people like us could go into business, do it ourselves, not have to be beholden to them. And I can make sure that you have a ship and you can be your own man. And you can have many, many more stories to tell.
You see, he takes a big inhaler breath that looks over in the water, kind of eyes that middle distance for a bit, and goes, I'd like to be back on a ship again. I miss it.
Once we know our place, where we belong, it's hard to not be there.
You need something on Farnsworth?
Yes.
The
man is rather tight-lipped, especially with those that he deems a threat.
The Terrells, they're new nobles. They have something on him. I was the bodyguard for the Terrell's daughter, and Farnsworth killed her.
How long ago?
Years. It's been years now. So when the Terrells were up and coming, people wondered why they got put on the markets on the market so quickly. It's because they and Farnsworth made an agreement so that Farnsworth transgressions were forgiven by them. He got forgiveness and to be basically left alone, and they got use of one of his Leviathan hunter ships. which they made good use of. They all profited from this girl's death. All of them except for me. I got stuck with the blame.
When one of us fails in their eyes, it's what they do. No matter how much they think you're fond, it's what happens.
Absolutely. I heard there's an agreement between them written out stating everything that they both keep on each other to kind of keep each other at bay.
Peace of mutual destruction. Good. That I can use.
If there's anything you need me to do, anything at all with this, you can call on me.
Of course. And if you need anything as well, this has been very helpful, more than you know. And she'll give him a card.
Yeah. I think he's not really looking at you. He takes out a large hand, and you set the small card almost in the middle of it. It doesn't even fill up his palm. And he very, very carefully, he wraps a large callous thumb around the card and takes it back and says, I'm going to stay out here for a little bit and think.
I'll go back in and make sure there is a good drink for you when you come back. And like I said, I will make sure that he suffers. Mark my words.
He looks over his shoulder at you and says, it was nice to meet you, Miss Corbin. He kind of looks down at the card. You have a pleasant evening.
It was a pleasure. You too.
Okay. Anything else from that?
That'll be it.
All right. We can talk about how that's going to work and what's going on other times, but that's kind of your start of, well, we'll see what it does. All right. Anything else from Miss Corbin?
I have something, but I'll say that for the end.
Okay, cool. Miss Fritter, last downtime action. Where do we find you?
I just want to verify there is no clock that got started on that project.
No,
right?
there's not. I just gave information on that.
Okay.
When she goes to do something, we'll do a clock. But
okay, just double checking.
She already has one. I don't want to do two at the same time, so it's kind of, I mean, we could, but we'll see what she does with this information.
Well, Fritter's next downtime action is being at home and waiting on Eyes to bring the kiddo by, while also convincing Preacher that this is what we're going to do. So, I'm assuming this is a camera pans in and in the middle of a conversation between Fritter and Preacher, where she's explaining to him the context of Eyes' conversation with her earlier and the kid and what is going on with the kid. So he is fully aware of that at this point. And I anticipate that Eyes will be there momentarily with the child.
I can see maybe dinner being cleaned up, because Preacher may have thought this was just going to be a lovely evening dinner, and hanging out, has a glass of whiskey or something after relaxing, and that's when the door gets knocked upon.
Oh, hello! Please do come in.
Bud, have you you remember Miss Fritter, right?
Shit, sorry, I forgot I'm Bud. He goes, yeah, she's the nice lady that bakes stuff. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, that's close. Yep.
I baked you something special just for tonight too.
What's that? What'd you make me?
I made you a chocolate marshmallow pie. What's up?
Oh, and he kind of looks at you, Eyes, and says, "Can I can have it, right?"
There's a big sigh, and I cut across to Miss Fritter, giving her track record.
He's like, okay, good. She makes the. Everybody says about how she makes the best pie. So okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All
I
right,
haven't
so
had the
it's
pleasure myself.
cooling. What? So it's cooling. So why don't we sit down? And do you remember? This is Elias. We sometimes call him Preacher, but don't let that moniker kind of freak you out. His name's just Elias. You can call him Ellie. Sometimes I do.
She never calls me that.
Hush. Come on in and take a seat.
Okay.
Let me get your coat, bud.
Yeah. Joseph gives off his coat and kind of runs in and sits down, probably in the chair Preacher was gonna sit down in.
That's fine.
Now, what did we talk about? We talked about asking for permission.
I did. I asked for permission to eat the pie, and you said I could, so I'm going to eat the pie.
We're referring to the seating arrangements, son.
I have to ask permission for that too?
Typically, it's Well, we've already escalated to asking for forgiveness, not permission, which is step 2, typically. So it's an escalation point. But given that these are weird, now if it's strangers, fuck them. But these are Dad's business partners.
Okay.
So there
if
is
it's
a
strangers,
respect.
fuck them.
Yep.
Business partners ask permission.
Yep.
Can I sit here? I just want to sit down and eat the pie.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Eat the pie, buddy.
Can I still get the pie?
If you ask again, no.
I'm just gonna put my arms like around Iz's shoulders and just be like, "Let's get you a Prozac. It'll make you feel better."
Right.
I promise.
So Joseph moves out of the way, kind of sits over somewhere else, and gives Preacher back the chair.
I would probably stop and be like, "You're a guest in our house here, so why don't you go ahead and just take a seat there, be the head of the table."
Oh, okay, thanks.
Miss Freda, could you bring the dessert over here, and maybe we 3 of us can talk for a second?
I was gonna take him for a little walk, but if you need me to stay here, I can. You let me know what you need.
Sort of
You want me to
look over to Eyes questioningly, like,
Yeah, we're cool.
all right, then that sounds lovely.
Okay, so what's going on?
So, have you been briefed on the situation, perhaps?
I have indeed.
Okay. Any high-level thoughts or considerations?
My concern would be your son has come in contact with something not of this world very recently.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that has left some sort of mark, residue upon him. But again, these are just guesses. At this point, I would have to speak with him and take some time with him to see exactly what's going on.
Okay. I have to be honest with you. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
As it should. And this makes
we have been too close to this bullshit for too fucking long. No offense. This is your domain. But for me, this is a sort of covering all the bases. If I was a betting man, and typically I am, I think this is a little bit more on the humanistic side. But considering the last few months, I need to make sure.
Well, the good news is whatever it is, it hasn't tried to harm the child. And it's had plenty of opportunities to do so far. So, I'm be thankful for that much.
I wish it was actually that simple. Then it's just, oh, okay, this is just another person trying to come for my kid, and I'll destroy them too. I assume it's more complicated than that.
I'll sort of shrug. I'm not sure who or what it is exactly. Could be something quickly exercised. Could just be, as you said, some pathetic person trying to run after your kid with our newfound fame and fortune, after all. Trying to take a slice of it somehow.
God, I hope it's that fucking boring. By the way, I brought you something.
Mm.
And I grab like this like large brown bag. I need you to upgrade your whiskey choices. So compliments of the house.
Well, I greatly appreciate this.
Yeah, you gotta come on down to the new owner of Two Cats. You know.
Everything's gonna be okay. You know that, right?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that and make me tear your tongue out for saying it later.
Look, you put yourself in harm's way for Hezekiah. You did things that I could not do. And I will do my best to repay that debt to you.
And I'm the optimistic one. I know. You don't need to, but I know you will anyway, so I won't talk you out of it. Miss Fritter, everything okay in there?
So while you guys were doing whatever that was, I am talking to
Bro time, obviously.
Joseph and kind of preparing him for this conversation he's about to have with Preacher. And so I imagine that Joseph's like sitting at the table, chilling out. I probably gave him some pie because like they're talking and like that's not nice to like leave the kid hanging. So like cutting him up some pie and be like, so, what are you like into right now? What do you like to do?
I like to. Sorry, Dad says I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. I have to ask permission or forgiveness or something like that. And kind of like, so all these rules. Just I go to school, and I come home, and it's different, but Mom and Dad are kind of talking again, which is nice, and it hasn't been like that for a long time, so that's cool. That's really good. And I'm enjoying staying with both them. And when they get together, we like to hang out and we actually do things as a family now. And we haven't done that before. So that's really neat.
That's great. I'm really glad for you. How's the pie?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Great. I'm so glad. If you tell me what else you like, I can bake you something else. I just kind of winged it on the chocolate and marshmallows because who doesn't like chocolate and marshmallows? Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So your dad filled us in on what you had said about your dreams, and so Ellie is gonna
the dreams
your nightmares.
The guy.
Yeah.
Those aren't dreams.
Yeah, I'm just being nice.
Okay.
I'm
sorry.
just trying to not put any pressure on you and make you feel like I know more about your life and stuff. So, that's an additional rule that you'll get to when you're a little bit older. So,
more rules?
It's just a fact of life, man.
I thought when you get older, you didn't have any rules.
No, when you get older, you kill people who break your rules.
You kill people that break your rules.
Yeah, so that's why the rules become really important.
Fuck strangers. You kill people that break your rules. Okay.
Always.
Okay.
It's important to have boundaries. So, I can't deal with Jacob doing that. It's just like throwing me off. So here's the thing: is that you're gonna talk to Preacher, and nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be really normal. He's just gonna be like a weird dude that talks to you. Don't worry, he's a weird dude, talks to me all the time, and it's fine. Ellie's pretty harmless, but he means well and he's good at what he does. So just try not to be nervous, try to relax, and be honest in what you tell him. And you and your dad will skip on out of here, and I'll give you the rest of this pie. How does that sound?
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I can talk
That's
to I can talk to the
great.
weirdo.
Fantastic. If you tell him that too, I think he'll really appreciate it.
Okay.
Then she'll kind of like lean out and around and be like, if you two are done, like painting each other's nails or whatever it is that you're doing, if you could come in here and we'll get the show on the road with the kid.
Belated Christmas gifts. No big deal.
So what is it that you're looking to do here?
Is this a me question?
It's anybody who's any
Okay,
adult
I'll
that's in the
answer
room.
it. So effectively, what I would like to see happen here, and the reason that I set this whole freaking thing up, is because I want Preacher to do some weird preacher shit with the child to assess if it's like something's clinging to him, if he's like being haunted by something, if there's
I got you.
some spirit thing happening around him.
Okay. So Preacher, you don't have to roll for this. You're okay. You're in a controlled environment with are you looking to basically attune and see if there's a spirit that's like attached to him in some way or something like that?
Yeah, so I would probably just kneel before him, maybe take his hands and just smile and try to like comfort him in the situation because it might be foreign and scary for a child, to witness what's about to happen in front of him. Considering what happens when I attune to the spirit realm, sort of smile at him and say, "So, you've been seeing something? I heard."
Yeah. See the man at the window.
You ever heard of ghosts?
Yeah. We talk about ghosts. Me and my friends, we've seen a ghost. I saw a ghost.
You've seen ghosts, huh?
Yep. I've seen ghosts.
I think you'd seen something. I don't know if it was ghosts.
No, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't ghosts.
Do you know what my dad always told me? I sort of poke him in his chest. Not hard, just. He always said we keep the ghosts in there. That's how we remember our loved ones when they're gone.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I did too. So
Okay. That's literally what I said just out loud.
But
it's supposed to be a sweet moment. But
Ritter hits him.
But
just straight up in the shoulder. Just eyes shut the fuck up right now.
It's not a ghost.
Can you tell me exactly what you've seen?
Yeah, I'll be laying there and I'll hear like a scratch at the window or the little knock, and looks like a shadow of a man. And he kind of looks off to the right. It's just like a shadow of a man. And he talks to me through the window. He knows my name.
Does he talk to you through the window or does he talk to you in here?
Well, I mean, I think it's out loud. I hear him out loud, but if I heard him in my head, would I hear him out loud or would it be in my head?
Question is he quiet when he's at the window?
He's whispering. Yeah, he's he's whispering. Shh. That's the first thing he tells me is shh. Yeah.
What does he say to you, Joseph?
He just tells me that he knows me, and he knows my dad, and he knows other people that I talk to, and he asks what I'm doing and things like that. Kind of the same things you all are asking. He just asks about me.
Does he try to get you to come with him, or?
No, he hasn't asked me to come. I told him that I can't go outside. I know that's one of the rules too. Don't go outside without mom or dad. But he doesn't ask me to do that. But he does say that he's watched me. Like he's glad that I'm like with mom and dad. He tries to act like he's my friend, but he's not my friend. I don't like him. I don't, he's not mean, but I don't like him.
I'm going to do something, okay? And it might scare you a little bit. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to be afraid or worried, because if Preacher did anything that would harm you, Miss Fritter would cave my head in quicker than anything. Okay, so you are safe here, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to take that time to attune.
Okay. So, question:
Yes.
you say your eyes glow. How do your eyes glow in comparison to how eyes glow? Let's discuss that.
I don't even really say that mine glow. They just sort of turn over like the milky white,
Okay.
the entirety of the eye, and it's almost like a smoke under the eyelid. It just starts pouring out just the sides.
Okay. And eyes,
Yeah.
when yours do what they do, what is it that the camera would pan in and see?
The largely the distinct difference is a physical eye with a cornea and retina, etc., versus the absence of one. And it's just lights.
Okay. Um, Joseph kind of steps back at first, just to get a little distance, but then understands no one else is free. He kind of looks to his father and to Miss Fritter,
Yeah.
and
I, I'm pacing at this point, but
yeah,
I give him a nod, like a reassuring nod.
yeah. He kind of stands there, and after a minute, he knows that it's not going to hurt him, so he kind of settles in. Preacher, you're looking at the ghost field, yes?
Correct.
Okay. You know what this is like after kind of being tagged by a demon forever. You and your son were both tagged where she could find you and watch you or do whatever. You took a long time to find out what it took to basically stop that from happening, to go incognito, so to speak. You do not find any tags on his soul or spirits that would be attached to him in that way. This is not that kind of thing.
So it's definitely nothing of a spirit world. So my best recollection, given the information I'm having, is it is a physical, real thing.
Yes,
There's an audible sigh.
you do not feel like this is something out of the spirit world where a spirit is coming after him or anything like that.
Okay.
You also know that it doesn't make sense. A spirit would not be confined with outside, or there would also be cold sensations when a spirit got in his presence, and it would be a different thing. What he's describing to you feels like a physical being, more than a spirit of some kind.
Okay. So we will let the attunement slowly fade, and with my eyes going back to the simple, old, plain, boring brown that they are, and give Joseph a soft smile and let go of him. See, not a hair harmed in your head.
Yeah, it's neat that you could do things with your eyes and Dad could do things with his eyes, and the Shadow Man does things with his eyes too. That's all really neat.
Tip my head.
When you get older, we'll teach you how to hit people in the eye, and then you can do weird things to other people's eyes, and it's really
All
fun.
right, all right.
Did you say the Shadow Man can do things like your father?
Yeah, his eyes glow. They can. I've seen them glow. Yeah, they glowed. Yeah. Yeah, they glowed.
Sort of slowly turn to look at eyes.
That's me just gazing. I don't say anything.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be nothing that your dad can't take care of, right? He's gotten out of a lot worse than this. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like, yeah. He has. Was there pie? Is there more pie?
Of course, there's more pie. There's always more pie.
All right.
Stand up and get out of the way of what's about to come here. And just sort of move over to Eyes and just put a hand on his shoulder. And, Joseph isn't tagged. I don't sense any sort of spirit attached to him, following him. Whatever this is, it's real and physical, and my hopes is, if it's that, it can be killed.
Yeah. Me too. That's the plan.
Okay.
Let's have the kids keep an eye out on him, yeah, outside the house.
A nod. I kind of look over to Miss Fritter. A la mode?
For sure. And she like quietly puts she had like a knife on the table that she was showing him how to like open the switchblade, and she like pockets it again as she like goes and gets the ice cream.
I just gotta say to myself, God damn it.
All right. Anything else for this scene?
No,
Good.
that's good for this scene.
Miss
Thanks,
Fritter,
Hannah.
what are you doing for your second downtime mechanically?
Mechanically, I would be relaxing.
Okay.
Theoretically.
Is this stress relief?
Sure.
Is this indulging your vice?
No.
No. Okay, just checking. So it's going to be another relaxation -2 on your stress. And what does that look like?
The prior to them getting there and then talking to Preacher and the dinner with Preacher would be probably the actual decrease of stress.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. All right. So Shauna, did you have something else you wanted to do?
Yes.
Okay. Where do we find Miss Corbin?
Miss Corbin's in the hideout. She actually requests meeting with a gathering of everybody in the Ash Syndicate.
Sweet.
Okay.
Let's go.
Before that, she's going to indulge a little bit before to kind of like calm her nerves a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
So that's what mechanically. So whenever y'all get there, she's just like crossing her arms, like pacing around, like she's been like waiting. Oh, good. I hope everyone's doing well. That's about what I expected.
Well enough.
Everyone
It's
has their
not
own
been a
things.
bad time. How have you been?
Busy. I
like
regret
your life.
I have not been around as much, and I do not want to feel like I am neglecting all this.
I'd argue you're probably doing the most out of everyone, so
I'm not concerned at all with what you're doing right now.
Well,
not at all.
I don't even know
Harsh.
what you're doing right now, so...
no, that's what I want to get you all here for. As you know, we were put together through partially the Hive.
Mhm.
I have been working my best to get some amount of control over it. Our amount of successes in the past couple months have done well. And I figured it would be time for us to maybe live up to our name. Syndicates aren't one thing, syndicates are many things. And if I play my cards, if we play our cards right, if you were to join me, that little partnership we had with the Hive could switch over in that we become a dominant faction within that. We are no longer at the beck and call. They work for us. Everybody profits from it. As long as they're happy and they get their money and they have their ambition, we may do what we want. And that would mean a lot more income, a lot more status and influence in the city, but also a lot more danger, which is she'll take out of her briefcase and put a dossier on the table. And that's where our problem is. This man has blocked me at every moment, exerts some pressure over the rest of the Hive members, people that I've spent much time and effort to sway them. I need him. If we're going to do anything, if we're going to ascend to anything past these few scraps, these few little bits of territory, he needs to be dealt with.
Rook takes tonight? Okay.
Move over to this dossier and sort of tap it with my fingers. Who is this person?
The noble.
A noble.
Representative from the city council. I imagine to make sure that the Hive remains under their control and doesn't have any ambitions beyond what we currently are at. Real piece of shit.
So we get rid of this man and then the Hive works for us?
Basically.
Does this piece of shit have a family?
No. You know. Out of character. That is a lie.
I was just about to ask Nate.
Yeah.
Yep, I was just about to ask. Okay.
And that's maybe the first time that she has obviously lied to you.
Out of character, I think Fritter knows who your parents are, though.
Maybe.
I think we've had established that previously that she knew that your parents were still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew you weren't dead.
Yeah.
Maybe she just suspects. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can believe the lie. I'm right there eating popcorn with everybody else.
If you want to know, I think it's just she doesn't necessarily want to have that be front and center.
No, understood.
Yeah.
For sure.
And she'll keep that concealed as long as she possibly can. But yes, this man needs to be dealt with. I'm not saying strictly in the most straightforward way, but it would be good to ruin him.
We're going to ruin his reputation, or we're going to just ruin him, period?
Reputation, holdings, enough that he'll be out of the way.
Oh, this is
permanently.
An assassination.
Not yet.
Just a character one, apparently.
It'll give the city council a mess to clean up, and we will be able to work unharassed by them, and maybe we can do something.
I'm going to start to flip through this dossier, and out of curiosity, are there any pictures of drawings of this man or anything?
There's probably a paint, like a portrait somewhere.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a newspaper article with his portrait hand drawn in, talking about him taking over a new property here or a new property there. There's several newspaper articles where he is front and center in them at unveiling ceremonies and things like that.
I mean, I don't know how close a hand drawing is going to actually look like to this person to make any sort of connection.
But that's why I've asking for your buy into this. This could be incredibly lucrative for us. But it could also be incredibly dangerous. This is not the Hive. This isn't the Crows. Anybody like this is the city council. If we slip up or if they decide to try and crush us, it could go bad. Real bad for us.
So we need to perhaps get the blue coats on our side so we can do a little bit more freely. I'm sure that's going to cost us some money.
Mm.
He's probably got them in his pocket as it is.
I could look into that.
Mm. Just when the time comes and the right opportunity. I just want to make sure that I wasn't assuming anything from this. This is a partnership, but partnerships have limits sometimes with the level of threat.
Fritter is just going to walk right up to you and put her hands on your cheeks and just say, there are no limits here.
Wow.
Not between Fritter and
Mm-hmm.
and her. Y'all can have limits all you damn well want. I don't give a shit. But between us, there are no limits there.
I just wanted to know what the stakes were. It's important to me that he is out of the way.
Important to
Very
you.
important.
Both individually and collectively?
Hmm?
Both individually and collectively?
Yes.
What's the difference in your mind? Because this is clearly like all about us and our ascension. This is also about yours as well, individually. What's the difference?
Hopefully there is no difference.
I kind of just raise an eyebrow and there's a kind of a half-cocked grin based off of the earlier lie and that. Okay.
You put yourself in harm's way for a child you knew nothing about just because you knew me, so I think I can help you take care of one straggly noble. Regardless of the rewards, I suppose.
I appreciate the confidence. I hope it isn't our ruin that we're going towards with this, but it is appreciated.
We always come out ahead one way or another, right?
For now. This is different. Things are different. And you both have families to take care of. I didn't want to.
That also includes this one.
This is my family.
Well, I don't necessarily know what that's like, but this is the closest I would assume that is like. So.
I'd say you're well on your way.
Oh, why don't we have a drink then?
Let's do it.
Good stuff. And I think that's...
What are we cheersing to?
Continued success.
And in this same vein, you also make plans for what you are going to do next, which is what I need to know as a GM. What is your next? What are we doing for the next score before we end up a couple scenes? While you are all together, are you looking for another job? Are you wanting to check out the thing in Ancat Park? Are you doing something else?
we're going to gather a lot more information before we go after this noble, so maybe we should tackle the park first and
Yes.
get that taken care of. We did get contracted as it was anyway to finish this job. We haven't yet finished it, so probably take
That's
care of
fair.
that.
And certainly curious to see what that is.
Perhaps they're connected. We've been luckier before.
So in character, this is where the planning begins, and where night of decisions and opportunities and whatnots and what haves are all brought up about what could happen, and which is what we'll go into next in our next score. But for this, let's finish up a couple last scenes. Is there anyone else that needs to have a scene for the night?
I would like to have
Fritter will have one more.
too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna just roll my.
Okay,
There we go.
good.
Mine will be with Fritter, so if that helps.
Fritter will have 2 more.
Okay, go ahead.
And I would say really it would take place at this thing for me. So if it's
Okay.
connected in any way, you let me know, Hannah.
No, we can have an independent scene from this. It's totally fine. How do you want to do this, Nate?
You tell me. Y'all are running this, so you wanna have your conversation with him first? That's fine.
Let's do that first.
Okay, go ahead.
With Preacher, you mean?
Yep, absolutely.
Preacher, let's do our scene.
Okay. I'd say honestly, it's still that same meeting, just a little bit after that, as Oz and Miss Corbin are probably talking. Have my drink in hand and maybe slowly bring her to one side of the room. Lean in and give her a kiss on the cheek and say, things might be getting out of control here.
Sorry, I have to write that down. She will turn back to you and almost like push you back a bit and say like, well, not here. They're not. So there's that. But she'll say, you really impressed me today with how you addressed the child and your display of loyalty for her and gesturing over to Miss Corbin. You really impressed me with that, and I'm very grateful for you for what you're choosing to do for our group.
What are we doing exactly, though?
I guess that remains to be seen, but
I'm going to look over to Miss Corbin as I'm saying this. She wants something. It ain't money, though. I just don't quite understand what she's after just yet. She's making some big grabs. Look, I'll do anything for her. Don't get me wrong. I owe her that much. I'm just worried where this is going to take us.
I trust her. And I know who she is on a very fundamental level. So if she thinks this is in our best interest, I will defer to her. I would follow her into battle, as I have before.
And slowly look back to Miss Fritter. She seems to have a very personal interest in this. As Eyes had pointed out, What is she hiding? Pie, what is she hiding? Because I know she's hiding something.
She will kind of put like her drink up to her mouth so that her eyes or her lips can't be red in case Corbin's watching her. And she would say something like, "Not now," or "Not here," something like that. We aren't going to have this conversation right now.
And look back now over to Eyes. You know, you and I were more ghosts than people at this point.
Speak for yourself, old man.
I don't mean we're dying, just... If the time comes where things get out of control, can you promise me something?
Maybe.
That man and his son, make sure you take care of them.
You don't have to ask me that. Of course.
You know, I'm mostly glad you're in my life.
I'm mostly glad you're in my life.
And next time you want to fix a big dinner, can you make it for us this time instead of always, inviting people over and making a big fuss, making me think that, maybe once you think I'm special. So
Well, next time we make it breakfast instead.
You are, something else.
She's going to look down at her watch. I need to get going. I have another appointment tonight.
Another gentleman caller?
You can say that, I guess.
I feel terrible for him then.
We'll see.
I'll catch you
She'll
later.
very...
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for that?
Not for me, no.
Okay. So, Miss Ritter, where do you go?
Miss Ritter starts walking home.
Mm-hmm.
And very casually walking, not making a big deal out of anything, but just turns down an alley very expectedly and waits.
Several times throughout your walk home, kids have come up to you and said a word and ran off, said a word and ran off, said a word and ran off. And within a few minutes, steps around the corner, figure of a younger man who kind of hesitantly steps into the alleyway and says, "Miss Ritter, did you want to see me?"
I did. Thank you for meeting me.
Well, you can be quite persuasive.
She's just going to let that go. Well, I know that you're interested in learning. Perhaps learning what we do.
I was.
Is that no longer a current interest of yours?
He told me not to.
I don't give a shit what he told you. I don't give a shit what he told you. What is it that you want to do?
I want to do what you all do.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do for you. And she's going to kind of walk close to him and kind of dig through her pocket like she's benignly looking for something. And as she gets close enough to him, she'll grab him by the front of his coat and slam him against the wall. Does he react? Nate?
Absolutely.
What
Yeah,
does he do?
So Ezekiah lets out this "what the," and gets slammed back up against the wall. He goes, "What are you doing?" What? And kind of is grabbing at your arm. He's not hitting you. He's just kind of trying to push your arm away in this "I can't believe this is happening" type moment.
Okay. Here's what I need you to understand. And I know this has been made clear to you, but I'm going to reiterate it. If you do anything to betray me, or to betray him, or to betray any of us, I will not hesitate to watch you die slowly. And it will not bother me, and I will not lose any sleep. And I will tell him exactly what I did and why, and I will be fine. And to be honest, he probably will be too. So I really need you to understand this before we get started. Are we good?
He kind of looks off to the side a little bit and is like, I don't know that he'd care.
He would care. He loves you a lot, like a father is supposed to do. We will get you to a good space. I have a vested interest in that. I do not want to spend my later years with a more bitter person than I currently have. So we will work this out. Okay? That is what I'm going to do for you.
I don't know. He kind of scratches. I've got somebody else who's asked me to city like a apprenticeship, some, I don't know, something. He was going to help me.
How much are they offering to pay you?
He puts out a number. It's fairly weak.
Okay, well, we're going to pay you 2 coin right here. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go sign up for college classes during the day. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your major is. I don't give a shit what you decide to pretend to do with your life. You're going to sign up and you're going to go. And you're going to tell them about it. And that's going to be what you say during the day. And at night, you're going to go to this address and you're going to sit out in front of this kid's window and you're going to wait. And if you see anything, a man showing up, a figure, something weird, I don't give a shit what it is. If you see anything beyond a moth flying past this kid's window, I want to know about it.
He kind of looks at you and goes, all right, yeah, we can do it.
If this other person who approached you, or that you approached, I don't really need to know the details, comes at you again, or gives you any problem, you let me know.
Okay.
Now look, I know that I'm doing this behind his back, and I know what that means. But we need to trust each other here, because our little family unit thing isn't going to happen unless you two mend your relationship, and I have to trust you. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. You do okay at this, we'll go from there. Sound like a plan?
Is this at the time that you take your forearm off of his chest?
Yeah, it's about the time. Yeah.
Okay. He kind of steps down and brushes himself off as if he could have gotten out of it at any point in time, knowing full well he couldn't have. But still, he comes in and says, we can try it your way. Yeah.
If you need anything, let me know. Do you have a weapon?
I think he pulls out a small pistol from his back coat, and it's not very well. It's kind of something you just pick up off the street. He says, I got this and a knife in my boot, but it's not much.
Do you even know how to load that thing?
Yeah, and as he spins it to the right,
No.
if it's a revolver and the middle part falls out. I'm sorry, all the people that know guns. I don't know guns. The chamber falls out of the gun, like lands on the ground in front of him. He's like, I'm still working on it.
Give me that. Give me that.
Like both parts? Okay, my bad. Yep, both parts. Okay, yep. Sorry, here you go.
Okay.
Of course, he hands it to you, points it at you, and hands it to you.
Of course he does, because he's a fucking idiot. So she's going to take it. She'll put it in her vest. She'll open her tactical vest and, like, actually exposing it to somebody, which doesn't normally happen. And he can see all of the pockets and all the things and all of the shit she carries on her at all times. Okay. And she's going to take out something that looks like a letter opener that like the top's been cut off. So it's just like a blade that you'd hold in your hand.
Yeah.
And she'll hand that to him. And yeah, that's all I really trust you with right now. A broken letter opener.
He like takes this big ass Bowie knife out of his boot. And he's like, oh, this is giving me such a cramp. Here, trade me. And he like hands it to you and then puts the other thing slim down there.
Yeah, I'll take this. That's fine. All right. Every morning when you get back from watching this kid's room, I want to be debriefed. If you encounter someone, I want you to follow him until you get to the edge of Crowsfoot.
Okay. He says, yeah.
Are we good?
Yep. We'll
okay.
do.
All right. Tell your dad about your college classes tomorrow.
College. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Serious. Yeah. College. Okay.
All right.
Anything else from anyone?
I'm good.
To end tonight, the camera will once again pan in on Silk Shore. And as a person walks down the middle of the street, it is as dark as it normally is. There are people out everywhere drinking and having a good time. This figure seems to step not right through people, but they almost move around them as they walk down the street. The crowd parts around them. Conversations that are happening don't stop as the figure moves in and around them as if they were never actually there. The figure makes its way up to a small deserted building on the bottom with an apartment on the top. The back of the wall is blown out and steps up against the wall where once Cyrene begged for his life. The figure runs their hand down the wall, traces where Cyrene was, and then looks into the window that's busted out. Walks up to the door and steps in, quietly closing it behind them. They pace the room over and over again. Then they finally sit back up against the stairwell. They slowly sit down on their butt and up against the stairwell with their feet out, and their hands reach out and touch the floor where there's still blood as it's been drying for a few days, but it's still very, very much there. The figure's hands morph almost, and where there were fingers become claws as it kind of digs in to that wood, digs into that clay and that stone that the blood is in. And the figure's eyes start to turn and start to almost cast off what would be moonlight shape, what you would see in the lights of the electroplasm as it sparks. And it begins to feed as flashes of the brutality and the anger and the pain that happened in this room not too long ago. And it sits there feeding for hours, and the crowds around just keep walking by without any notice that it's even there. And in the morning, there are huge marks in the floor, and no figure. And that's where we're going to end session 2, Blades in the Dark.
That was kind of uneventful, guys. We need to do better next week.
It was so boring. I mean, God.
Sorry, chat. We'll try to do better next time with some little bit of RP and try to be descriptive. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, I'm Nathan at Not Another Nate on Twitter. I'm on some Discord servers and stuff like that. You hear me yapping about RPGs and everything that we do. Have a good time with this crew as always. It's always amazing to get together and talk and see where things are going to go and what little plans I make, how they get decimated in a few short sentences. But it is a brilliant thing to watch, and I love it. But again, we'll go around and say who we are and where you can find us. And again, looking forward to next week. Next week we'll start back into our do our score, which will be going to Ankhet Park, and I'm sure nothing will happen bad there. It'll be just a glorious little fun day in the park for us all. But again, I'm not another Nathan. You see, I'm pronouns. I've been the narrator for this wonderful crew. Let's go backwards from where we started. So Saevrick's got over first.
Okay, sure. Tonight I have been Saevrick, or Josh. I've been your player and your best friend. What the fuck happened tonight?
I took a lot of notes.
I bet.
So much happened.
Oh, God.
I am overwhelmed. Betrayed is one emotion I have right now. Hating teenagers is another emotion I have. And a little bit of pee came out the end there. So it's been an emotional night. Sorry. Anyway, you can find me here on Twitch or Twitter, both at Saevrick. Have this game going on Wednesdays. And Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a Star Wars D20 Saga Edition campaign set in the Old Republic. So it's a lot of fun. So come check it out. Otherwise, I got nothing else going on, so I will pass it off to the next person.
Oh, me next? Okay, cool. I'm Hannah, and you can find me on Twitter as Soft Little Woman. And I play in games with Josh, so everything he just said applies to me. That's it. I'm done.
What about your interview?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Jacob?
Go watch Hannah's interview on the Games Tavern. It's on their YouTube channel. It's really good. Hi, everybody. Jacob here. Duval King Jacob on the internet. I actually did a thing. I started a link tree that I just threw in the chat. If you want to find the Twitches and the Twitters and the Instagrams, it's also got a link to the YouTube where this beautiful Blaze in the Dark campaign lives. Also, I'm the host and dungeon master for a little campaign called Duval and Dragons. Next episode is 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. They're going to fight a dragon at level 7. It's not going to go well. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
That's not dangerous. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? Not at all. All good. So it's going to be a good time. Come check that out. I'm really worried for them. And by really worried, I mean not at all. It's going to be a good time. So come check that out. Also, a few folks that you're probably familiar with that were in our D&D campaign on Third Raiders. We might be doing a little something. So if you follow the Twitter account, the Epitheater, which is also on that link tree there, and that I can relink now because I've been promoted to a moderator. Thank you, Josh. So yeah, some things are happening. So I'll leave it there, but the stage is being set. Some other stuff, podcast things that are happening here pretty soon. It's gonna be a good year. Fuck the police.
All right, and Shauna.
I love this stuff. This is so good. Love everyone's like little developments, and Ezekiah is gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, I forgot. I need to go unfriend Miss Corbin on Facebook. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I'm Shauna Flankers on Twitter and Instagram. I'll have my art there. And as far as games on Saturdays on Level Up Dice, we're playing Scion, Birth of New Gods, where I am playing Sweet Kitsune Godling. On Tuesdays on Other Doc, we're gonna have our first actual session of Urban Shadows in Rome, where I play pretty much the opposite of Miss Corbin, someone who doesn't think about consequences. It's just like this terrible fire and does it like chaos. I can't wait. It's good kind of playing both ends of that thing. And on Wednesdays, before this, on at 3 p.m. it's it's Hexcrawl spy game campaign where we're a bunch of spies, and we are in the middle of a extraction of a reporter, and there is a gas tanker in a garage of the police station, and we have a very, very explosive prone demolitionist engineer, and we are probably going to explode something, probably this building, and hopefully we all get out. Yes.
Everybody's got to have that wizard fireball character, apparently.
All right. Thank you all. Can't wait till next
One
session.
last thing.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
One last thing I just remembered. So on Friday, Friday night, back over on Sameta's Game Show, we're actually doing a charity stream to try to save someone from a ridiculous eviction, especially right now where things are going crazy. So go to.
I'm in that.
So you are, and
I'm
so
in that.
what's great? Yes, you are. It's going to be a good time.
Same game,
So.
aren't you?
Yes, we are. So, are you just in the Alien game, or are you in Call of Cthulhu as well?
I think I'm just in the Alien game. They never told me
yeah.
anything about the other one.
Yep. So definitely that. So yeah. So in the earlier evening, I'll die in Call of Cthulhu, and then in Alien, I'll die again, and then Hen's gonna die too. So you guys can come watch and find out.
Where is that at
Lots
again?
of dying.
Twitch.tv/SoMataGames. GAMEZ. Because it's not even a matter of like if you die, it's just like how long and in what order. So like my goal is to survive as long as possible. Knowing full well that like things are going to happen. I'll give you a fun thing that I found out tonight about Call of Cthulhu. It's going to take place in present day, which is interesting.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be in a fucking IKEA in Ohio. So I don't even know what the fuck that means. But that's
That
terrifying.
means fanny packs, bitches.
I'm so
I don't
terrified.
know.
of
Let's do
anything
it.
happening
You just
in
get
Ohio.
lost.
Yeah.
You just get lost
Yeah.
in the maze that is the IKEA, and you just can't get
Yep, it's literally, it says Westchester, Ohio, 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, IKEA. And I literally got sent a showroom and marketplace map. And I'm just like, fuck, we're so fucked.
Amazing.
All right, can't wait. Come check it out.
So, is that everybody? Everybody's said what they need to say. So
Thank you for staying with us longer
Yes,
than
thank you.
normal.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
my MacBook sucked.
Usually I've been ending these with a fuck dash 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 this thing. I think I want to ask my lovely friends here, what would you like to say fuck to this week?
I already did one, so I'm good. Nobody?
Fuck Wall Street. There we go.
Yeah,
Fuck Wall Street.
there
Yes.
you go.
King.
Fuck
I
Wall Street.
want to say fuck you to Senator Joe Manchin, who's the senator in my state, because he's an asshole.
That's good.
And you know what? Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene for following David Hogg after the Parkland shooting and telling him that, like,
Yeah, that was
basically
fucked
it's
up.
his fault. Because, like, fuck her.
Total rancid
So much.
piece of garbage. Be good to each other.
Yes.
That's so reverse fuck.
Really?
You heard it here first. Reverse fuck.
Reverse fuck.
Reverse fuck.
Oh,
Reverse
If they're strangers.
It's all good.
Fuck strangers.
Right, exactly. But as for consent,
On that note,
On that note,
Let's
Yeah,
just
get the fuck
end
outta
this
here.
I
now.
am never
Get the fuck outta here.
never asking again for people to
I don't
insert.
feel like there's any, should have any
Josh is
regrets.
full of so many regrets right now.
It's been a regret
Let
since
us have-
since minute one. So, all right, y'all, have a good
Hey,
night.
you renewed us for a season 2. I don't know what to tell you. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. Stay safe out there.